Yo, yo, what is up, everybody? What is up? I'll give another minute or two for those to jump on and be on this training. I hope you guys are all doing well. Give another minute or two to let this roll. Cool. When you guys jump on, let me know you are here. Let me know your name and your city. I am using a service that I can't see everyone's name unless you tell me the name. So when you jump on, what's up, boss? What's up? Unfortunately, it says Facebook user. So I'd love for you guys to actually say who you are, because the service StreamYard, I only get to see that you are on Facebook, unfortunately. And so this is streaming on YouTube and Facebook. And so I can only see Facebook user. So would love to see it. John, what's up, dude, on YouTube? Jerry Ramirez, what is happening? What is up, everybody? Welcome. Stony Madison, what's up? From Indianapolis, what is up? If you guys are on Facebook and not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure to do that. It is also streaming live on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and go to youtube.com/Justin Colby. Make sure you are subscribing to my YouTube. I drop a YouTube video a day for y'all, so make sure you subscribe to YouTube. What is up, Shane, Jerry, Rick Gonzalez, Eric from DFW, Houston, Texas, Long Island, Darren, what is up, Ray from Glendale, Arizona. Drop what market in your name if you would. Want to give shout outs. John McNeil, what's up, brother? What's up? What else we got? We got a bunch of what's up heading my way. Welcome, everybody, to this training. I'm glad that we are able to go live. Again, it is also streaming on YouTube, but I drop a YouTube video a day. So go over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel. Just look youtube.com/Justin Colby. I got Baltimore, Maryland in the house. Chris from New York City's in the house. Nashville's in the house. Dude, all great markets. Great markets. Dude, I am excited. So we are going to go over training that is super important. I actually did a poll of you guys, and you guys told me what you want me to train on. So guess what? Here we are, and we are going to be talking cold calling best practices, as well as I will be sharing with you my script. Now, if you don't already have my script, make sure to leave a comment right here letting us know that you want your script. I will have someone on my team reach out to you to make sure you can get the script. But I will be sharing my cold calling script with you. So make sure you leave a comment, say I, and I will make sure someone from my team reaches out to you to make sure you can get this cold calling script from me. Now, let me tell you a quick backstory about why cold calling is so important and so near and dear to my heart is because when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, I like to say, when I had literally no money, I was sleeping on a couch, I lost my home to foreclosure, the repo man took my car, and I had to walk away from $40,000 of credit card debt. When I say broke, busted, and disgusted, I hope none of you have felt that pain. But one thing I knew to be true is I could reach out to people via phone and see if they had deals. And so I got started in this space by cold calling realtors one by one. There was no triple line dialer. Remember, this is back in 2007. So this is now 14 years ago. We didn't have Mojo Cells and Zen Call and all the other cool things that you guys have today. We had a cell phone at best. 2007, like cell phones were nothing like they are even today, for God's sake. So I'm reaching out to realtors because that is the only list I'm aware of. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have anyone to start. I said, okay, realtors have properties. I need to call realtors, see if I can contract any of their properties. And this is even before I understood what wholesaling was, right? I was going into it looking to double close. I had transactional funding at the time, which basically was like 24-hour money. It's still around today, but it's just not quite as needed as often. And so I knew I could fund the deal and then simultaneously close on the next deal, same day, almost simultaneous, right? And so I was a big cold caller, and I would go over to the coffee shop to make sure I had internet, and I would start dialing, smiling and dialing. I didn't even really have a script. I just said, hey, Mr. Agent, I saw your listing 123 Main Street. I'm a local investor. I'm looking to buy an investment property. And I would take it from there. And let me tell you how many times I got the phone hung up on me, right? Now, different time, meaning, 2007, we're going into this the terrible recession time. The world doesn't really know what they're doing. The banks don't know what they're doing. The agents don't know what they're doing. It's kind of a crazy time. But that being said, right now is a crazy time. We're dealing with COVID. There's eviction moratoriums. People are being laid off work. People are working more from home now than ever. It's all crazy. There's never just a perfect time, right? And so at the end of the day, I have cold calling near and dear to my heart, and I do it heavily today. As of next Monday, I will have 24 cold callers in my business, working 3 different markets, okay? 24 cold callers. So when I say I love cold calling, I love cold calling. Now, I'm no longer doing it myself, and that's where I'm going to start. If you guys are just getting started, whether you have the financial capability of actually hiring cold callers or not, I encourage you to do it yourself. So let's talk about the best practices. I would first go out and either get Mojo Sells or ZenCall. The reason why I like and by the way, I have them both. Okay. The reason why I like Mojo Sells is because if you are on a limited budget and you don't have much budget, they actually have what they call a lead store in Mojo Sells. I think it's an extra $50 a month. So I believe all in, you are into Mojo Sells for $200 a month. That gives you a triple line dialer, so meaning you can call 3 people at one time, and a lead store where you can basically blanket on a map an area that you want to call. Mojo will pull out all of the phone numbers that they have for those addresses in that area, and you can start calling. It's part of the $50 a month. Now, so if you highlight, this area, and you bring up 1,000 phone numbers, you don't have to pay for that. That's part of the $50 a month. That being said, Mojo doesn't have the most accurate data. So I'm a massive user and fan and promoter of batchskiptracing.com. Batchskiptracing.com has the very best skip tracing, bar none. And so if you go to batchskiptracing.com, go and use promo code TSOF. That will give you a 3-cent discount on your skip tracing. So TSOF, it'll give you a 3-cent discount if you go to batchskiptracing.com. And so I'm a huge advocate, user, and promoter of batchskiptracing.com. The difference being is if I pull a list, I'm going to spend more with Batch than I am on Mojo Sells. I'm a firm believer you get what you pay for. Mojo Sells phone numbers are very, very cheap, and they're also very inaccurate. If you are just getting started, I would tell you, I don't care how inaccurate they are. You need to get your reps in. You need to make those calls and start talking to people and use this script. Again, if you want this script and you don't yet have it, comment right here in the comment section, say I, and then someone from my team will make sure to reach out to you and get you that script. So that being said, I would tell you, you should be doing this anyways. Now, let's say you have a marketing budget. Let's say you're someone, maybe not where I'm at, but you have a couple dollars to spend every month. Could you essentially hire the cold calling companies that I use? 100%. By the way, I'm also happy to share the companies I use for cold calling. And so if you are interested in the cold calling companies that I use, that one, what I would tell you is just send me a direct message. Say, hey, I'm interested in using your cold calling companies that you use, and then I'll make sure to connect you. But for the script, just put I right here in the comments. So if you do have a marketing budget, I'd still encourage you to do the cold calling yourself. And the reason is, if you don't know what your cold callers are hearing or experiencing or the objections that they're hearing, it's very hard for you to understand what they're going through or even how to manage them. Now, one thing that happens too often is people hire cold callers and then they just say, okay, I'm done. I hired them. They should be giving me leads. No. You still need to manage the cold callers. You need to manage the company to proper expectations. right? And so we have a call with them every single week. They give us a report every single week. We need to make sure that they hit their quota and their expectations. Like my manager, Anthony, he actually reached out earlier this week, I think Monday or Tuesday, saying, hey, I audited this call. I listened to this call and it was really difficult. Like they spent 8 minutes trying to spell out the name of the homeowner. Now, granted, the name of the homeowner was rather difficult, but nonetheless, like you need to manage the team no matter what, even if you're hiring them, even if they have a manager as part of their company and what they offer, which the companies I use do have that for you as a resource. But I would always encourage you to manage them, because you get what you expect, right? So you get what you manage to. So ultimately, you should still do it. I would tell you to do it for a week or two. No one loves cold calling. I totally got that. But I want you to understand what they're saying, potentially perfect my script, get my script, and then make it your own of sorts, and then be able to hire these callers, right? So again, I have, as of Monday, I'll have 24 cold callers. Currently, I have 16. And so, when you do this and you call through Mojo, I would personally pull, my lists are from PropStream. Excuse me, I use PropStream, and I pull all of my lists from PropStream. So essentially, I go on to PropStream, and if you want a free account, just use promo code TSOF, or you can go to TSOF Data, or tsofdata.com, and they'll give you 7 days for free. tsofdata.com, they'll give you 7 days for free. If you use promo code TSOF, they will also give you a hookup on some of their services. So I use PropStream. You pull that, you go to batchskiptracing.com. You can also use their dialer. By the way, I do understand that they have a dialer. I have never used that. Now, it's only because I'm so used to Mojo and ZenCall. I'm Batch's biggest fan. They have a lot of great services there. Batchskiptracing.io is another one. Batch.io is another great. They have a lot of great services. But go over and create an account and pick and choose what you want to use from Batch. They will give you a hookup if you use promo code TSOF. They will give you a hookup on all services. And so I use them heavily for the skip tracing part. That's what I do. And so I pull the list from PropStream. I then give it over to Batch. I pay more for that skip tracing than I do for Mojo. But that's because I want good data. That's because I want to get, when I call somebody and I say, hey, is this Frank? I want Frank to say yes. If I call someone and say, hey, this is Frank, and he says, who's Frank? This is John. Did Frank live there? Is Frank there? No, I don't know of Frank. Frank has never lived here. I've owned the home for 22 years. That's a hard thing to come back from. And I can teach you how to come back from that, by the way. But it is harder to come back from that than if you had accurate data, right? Accurate data is over at Batch Skip Tracing, promo code TSOF. So I say that to say, then ultimately you want to have a good script. And this is what we are talking about. Now, before I get into the script real quick, usually one of the biggest questions that is asked on a training like this is, what list do you call? What list do you call? Well, I will tell you, I call 7 years of ownership or more. I want absentee homeowner. I want the price point to be $200,000 or less estimated value. I do not want it on the MLS. I want it to be owned by an individual. PropStream allows you to choose if you want it to be individual, trust, or company. I want it to be owned by an individual. I do not want it to be on the MLS. I want 7 years of ownership or more, $200,000 or less value, and essentially in the area that I want it to be in. And that is my list. And then I go in and I start calling. Now, if you are calling yourself, you are going to really want to pay attention to this point right here. And I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start going over the script. Before I get to the script, I want everyone to understand my positioning about a script. I'm going to give you this script. If you want it, just say I right here in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, just simply say I, and someone from my team will make sure you get the script. The key about a script is it is a foundation. It is not an end all be all. And I say that because too often, if I'm teaching one of my students who is getting into cold calling and they say, okay, let me get your script, and I give them the script, and they're a student, and maybe they're even a high level student, like an elite member student. I have an incredible group of elite member students. They're already in the business, already doing deals, already making a bunch of money, but maybe they need help marketing. And so, I'm helping them with cold calling, let's say. Well, even though they're elite and they're already doing deals and making a lot of money, the script is there for you to just have a foundation of what to say and allow the conversation to take shape. By the way, quick pause. I will tell you guys, if you're interested in coaching with me on a deeper level, much more intimate, handcrafted to you, if you're interested in that, put a comment below saying interested in coaching, and let's have a conversation. Not everyone's right fit, but I do want to offer that up to you guys. If you are interested in having 2, 3, or 4 calls a week with me every week, and you want to get to that next level, then I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Let me know right here in the comments, and I will make sure someone from my team also reaches out to you if you're interested in leveling up, really getting hand-holding specific to your business. I'm happy to do that, and just let us know here in the comments. So with that said, even my students, I advise this, which will be use the script as a foundation for you to have a conversation. It's about the conversation, which leads into salesmanship, negotiating, persuasion, and really just being a human being. I'm a big advocate of you just figuring out what they need in all of this and you aligning yourself with what they need. So I say it like this: align your values with their values. If you do that, you give yourself a hell of a shot to get the deal. Cool. So this script can be yours, say I, but ultimately I'm going to share my screen, and you want to use this essentially as guys, you want to use this as the foundation, right? And we're going to go through this. I'm not going to take a ton of time because it does get into some salesmanship here and what to say and the questions you want to ask. Really, really good stuff here. But let's just start out with, you give a call and you say, hello, I'm looking for Fred, right? Now, again, this goes back to accuracy. If I say I'm looking for Fred and 90% of the time the person says, who the hell is Fred? I've never heard of Fred. That's not great, right? So that's why getting good skip tracing from batch is really, really important. So then he says, yes, this is Fred. And you say, hey, this is Justin. I know this is totally out of the blue. I totally apologize about this. I'm calling about the property that I believe you own, 123 Main Street. And I just wanted to see if you've ever given any thought or consideration to selling your home. Now, I shut up after every question. This is part of the sales part where I won't go too deep into that. But I shut up and see what they say. Now, here's the reality of cold calling. It's a numbers game. You're going to get plenty of people that hang up on you. You're going to get plenty of people that tell you F off. Ultimately, what you want to do, the right KPIs for cold calling is, out of all the calls you make, 10% of those should be contacts. And what I mean by a contact is when I say, hey, is this Fred? Fred says yes. Boom, contact. Whether Fred wants to sell or not is irrelevant. I just want to know it's the right person. Then 7% of those 10, 7% of the 10% are going to be an actual seller lead. Okay, so that's the KPIs you're going for. So when they say, have you given any thought to or consideration to selling your home? Fred might say, yeah, I was actually thinking about it. Boom, now it's a seller lead. Okay, so that I bold this because it tends to be the question I ask, right? Now, you could also say, hey, are you open to an offer on your home? You could also say, are you open to a cash offer on your home? It's semantics, it's copy, it's what makes you feel best. Ultimately, you're going to say it a way that you say it. I'm going to say it the way I say it. Ultimately, you want to say, hey, are you thinking or considering selling? Are you thinking or considering about having an offer on your home? Would you be willing to talk about an offer on your home? Would you be willing to talk about a cash offer? However that resonates with you, use it. When you get this script, you will be able to make a copy of it and you will be able to edit it. Make it your own. Got it? Cool. So let's say if they say yes, Or if they say, classic response, by the way, if they say, how much will you give me? Right? Well, what's your offer? Then you can answer with, well, first of all, before we get to a number, how long have you been thinking about selling? Now, this is one of the power questions that I have down here. You'll see like a motivation question. And it's right. Well, why are you looking to sell? Why haven't you sold yet? What makes now the right time? So what makes now the right time? Where are you going after sell? Why are you going after sell? What does the sale of this property mean to you? Have you listed yet? When are you looking to close? How much are you looking to sell? So I don't have it down there, and it should be down there, quite honestly, is how long have you been thinking about selling? I call it like a power question because you're going to get a lot from this question. The reality is, depending upon how they answer, and I've had all types of answers, like, well, I've been thinking as of today because you just called me. So how much are you going to offer, right? I've had that guy or gal. I've also had someone who's opened up a huge can of worms. Well, I've been thinking about it for the last 6 months. I've had to get my divorce finalized. Now that it's finally finalized, I have a way I can make decisions on my own and it won't impact the divorce. And all of a sudden this can of worms opens. So this is really, again, back to salesmanship and negotiating. Like, this is where you got to be an active listener. At this point, if someone opens a cans of worms by one question in, you got to start to be an active listener, right? So maybe I should also add on a training about sales and negotiating. So if depending upon what they say to this, you could also add in how long why have you not listed it on the MLS? Now, here's an interesting question that a lot of people don't review, which is, for whatever reason, I feel like investors think you're giving the seller some idea about listing this on the MLS. Like, they haven't thought about that. So just ask them this. Why haven't you yet? Because again, you could get an awesome answer here. You can absolutely get, well, I haven't because my home needs a bunch of work. The roof is leaking and, all this maintenance stuff. That's the type of answer you're looking to get. That's what you're trying to get, right? That's what you're ideally hoping for, because then there's a way to find motivation. Oh, your roof is leaking. Why haven't you fixed your roof? Oh, I don't have money. Oh, okay. Well, do you have enough money to pay your next mortgage? And the conversation starts to go. So the cold calling script, why I'm actually not going to review the entire cold calling script on this training, guys, is because usually around here, the reason why I say pay attention, this is where you'll begin to hear the pain and problem. And then you need to attach to the pain. You want to ask all the whys, the hows, the what's most important, because it connects them to the reason they are selling and it gives you an opportunity to be a solution. This, my friends, is so key. And it happens within 2 or 3 questions max. Okay? If you are getting the sense that this person isn't motivated, you're likely right. They are likely even engaging with you because someone called them, your cold callers, and or you called them and out of the blue said, hey, are you open to an offer on your home? And they said, well, sure, what's your offer? They didn't actually have any thought behind it. They didn't actually have any intention or motivation behind selling their home. So they're engaging with you because you asked. So again, I'll do this very quickly for you guys. And again, if you want the script, just say one of my team members will make sure you get the script. Make sure you say I in the comments below. But here is where the conversation will go right or go left. It takes shape here because now you're getting the pain. And when you get to the pain, you want to be a solution to the pain. And so then it's just about asking further questions about the pain and aligning yourself with it, right? You might also get, by the way, if yes, how much are you willing to give me? You also might hear, I thought you were going to give me an offer, right? So have you ever considered selling? How much, are you open to a cash offer? Yes. If yes, how much will you give me might be a question. The answer would be, how long have you been thinking about selling? They might retort with, I thought you were going to give me an offer. Well, if that's their answer, here's how I reply. First, let me tell you a little bit about how I work. Let me introduce myself just to make sure we might be even the right fit before we get to the numbers. I'm a cash buyer. I'm a local investor. I pay all the closing costs. There's no real estate commissions. And the best part is we are completely as is. So you don't have to do any work to the property. Let me ask you again, do you have a number in mind that you'd like to sell for? How long have you been thinking about selling? Why haven't you sold yet? Do you know how much you need to sell? Do you know how much you need to put in your pocket? Like, it goes back to the questions. By the way, again, right here, guys, you might get a lot of feedback, meaning if they aren't motivated, they may say, okay, cool. So how much is your offer? Anyone who is just straight like offer, I have found the vast majority of time, like in the 90% ratio, if someone just say, what's your offer? What's your offer? I thought you were going to give me an offer. How much is your offer going to be? There's very little to no motivation. They want top dollar. And if you can't give them top dollar or top dollar plus another percentage, they're just not going to, they're going to hang up on you, right? I've had that thousands of times, tens of thousands of times. And so again, I want to find where their motivation is at, which fast forward through the rest of the script, because you can follow this script if you want. But typically by the time I get here, guys, the conversation has gone right or it's gone left. And I jump all the way down here and start making sure I'm asking these questions. And the questions are motivation questions. Where is their motivation and why is the motivation what it is? And if you get this dialed in, guys, getting to the place of either setting yourself an appointment or making an offer can be a lot quicker. I mean, a lot quicker. Now, the script is still here for you to give you some examples of what to say if they give you certain answers. But I'll tell you, nowadays you're just hearing, I thought you were going to give me an offer, or by the time you say, how long have you been thinking about selling? They're going to open up some level of a can of worms. And that's the reality. And then the script is here to go through, well, before I can make an offer, I need to know more about your home. Right. And as you're on the phone, you might want to check with Zillow. You might want to, based around what you've told me, that could be an option. Option 2, my partner runs all the numbers. That can be option 2. Option 3 is I want to make sure you are playing the same game I am. I would probably buy your home around in your bracketing and offer. But again, because I only have a limited time for this training, I'm speeding through this. You need to take your time here. This is where you actually need to find out a lot more about the actual seller and where their motivation is and where their head's at. If you can do that, you're going to get further along this conversation, which can go to setting an appointment and or, making an offer, right? And so we're in multiple markets. I just told you guys we're opening up Milwaukee in next Monday, which I think is the 14th or 15th or whatever it is. And all of our business, even our local business here in Phoenix, we run virtually. The only time we actually are setting an appointment now is if one of my competitors, and you guys all know my competitors here in my market, right? And some of them are some of my closest friends. And, if I know that they're going to be out there at 10 o'clock in the morning, I would tell my guy, go get a 9 o'clock in the morning appointment, right? Because, let's try to get in front of them. But beyond like that sense of urgency, because we know there's another investor coming in with an offer, we just keep everything virtual. That way I can open up as many markets as I want. The system is in place. My manager, Anthony, is running the system, hiring, training, recruiting, firing, letting go, hiring, training, right? But it's the same system every market. Follow me? So hopefully that did well. This was a short dive on cold calling, scripting, salesmanship. Like I mentioned, I'll just softly lob it up. If you're interested in leveling your business up, I don't care if you're just getting started or you're trying to organize and scale and become profitable, and you want to talk to me a little bit more and have a conversation about whether I could coach you, let's do that. Let's have a conversation about coaching. Say down here you're interested. If you're interested, someone from my team will reach out and we'll have a conversation. Feel out if we're a good fit. Doesn't hurt you, doesn't cost you anything. We'll just see if I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me, because when I coach, it's multiple times a week. It's intense, it's live, it's engaging. So if you want something like that, just let me know and say interested. If you want the scripts, say I, and one of my team members will make sure that you get those scripts. So without that, I don't have a whole lot of time for questions. If you have a question right this second, hurry up and write it. I'm willing to take one or maybe two, but I'm actually already late for a call. Hopefully you guys found this good. I'm intending on going live every single Thursday, and hopefully this finds you guys well. Tom, what up, dude? Just to be clear, when you're in Phoenix, competitor has a 10 a.m. appointment, you go at 9 a.m. Great question, Tom. So the answer is yes. I want to be because if I can do our job, we will contract it first before the 10 a.m. appointment. If we're good at what we do, we will contract it first. Knowing that there's a 10 a.m. appointment, certain sales strategies and skills, right? Like, hey, I know you have a 10 a.m. appointment. What number do you need to make your 10 a.m. appointment go away? Where can we be? And if they give me an unreasonable number, and they're likely going to give the 10 a.m. an unreasonable number. So then it's about being the last to follow up. Then it turns into a follow-up game. Great question, Tom. Dan, you're welcome. John, you're welcome. What up? You're very welcome. Dang, I do the opposite, says Tom. Always try and go last. Now, here's like, Tom, I totally also understand the psychology of that, right? You want to be the last one there. So like, hey, here's a great offer. Where were they? They're at 250. I'll be at 252. Take my offer. I got it. I love it. But I like being both. I want to be the first because if I'm good at sales, I can close them right then and right there. I also like being the last because I'll do follow-up a lot better, right? So I totally hear what you're saying. Jerry, the PropStream site, tsofdata.com. tsofdata.com. Let me see. It loads for me, Jerry. Here. I'll put this in here. So this is what it loaded as. There you go. You're very welcome, guys. Again, hit I if you want the script. My team will make sure you get the script. If you're interested in coaching with me further and me holding your hand and me actually coaching you, just say interested, and someone from my team will reach out, have a conversation with you. I hope you guys are well, blessed, and healthy. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.